Okay, you're now live, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, I'm Councillor Paige Hacking, Chair of this committee. I would just like to inform everyone present that this meeting will be broadcast live to the internet via the Council's website and will be capable of repeated viewing. The images and sound recording may be used for training purposes within the Council. In order to ensure that the meeting is effectively managed, can everyone please keep to the following guidelines for speaking? Councillors should only use the raise hand function to request to speak. Only speak when invited to do so by the chair. Please switch off your camera and microphone when not speaking, and remember to set your mobile phone to silent for the duration of the meeting. Any views expressed by any speaker in this meeting are the speaker's own, and they do not necessarily reflect the views of the council. Please can councillors be aware that the webcast will continue to be streamed live for 20 seconds after the close of the meeting. This is due to a time delay in transmitting live. I can now confirm the names of this committee: Councillor Hacking, Councillor Quinn, Councillor Gardner, Councillor Goldley is substituted by Councillor Gruby tonight, Councillor Lomax and Councillor Taylor. Have we got any apologies for absence?
Yes, Chair, we've got apologies from Councillor Gourlay with Councillor Gruby as substitute, and also Councillor Lomax.
Okay, thank you. We'll move to disclosures of interest. Does anyone have any interest they'd like to declare? No? Okay, we'll move to item 3, to approve the minutes of the previous meeting. Has everyone read them? And can I have a proposer and a seconder? If anyone's got it, yeah, thank you.
I'll propose, Paige.
Thank you. Councillor Quinn. Sorry.
I'll second that. Yeah. Okay, no worries.
Thank you, Councillor Gardner. Okay, so we're going to move on to item 4, which is the annual letter, and I think Mark's going to lead on this.
Thank you very much, Chair. Yeah, this is the annual letter that we received from the Local Government Ombudsman from April to March 2024. It details all the complaints which the Ombudsman has received in relation to the Council's services. Just to confirm, the Council has its own 2-stage complaints procedure corporately, where each complaint that we receive against our services is considered by the relevant head of service at stage 1. It is then reviewed if the complainant is dissatisfied with the response at stage 2 by the relevant director, and then if the complainant remains dissatisfied, then they may refer the complaint, if it is an appropriate complaint, to the Local Government Ombudsman for consideration. And those are the complaints which are covered within this letter. It comes to this committee to ensure that the committee can have sight of any issues arising from the Ombudsman's letter each year and from the complaints which it receives. And as you'll see within the report, that in the last 12 months, the Ombudsman's received 7 inquiries in relation to the Council, 3 of which didn't meet the Local Government Ombudsman's criteria for consideration. Either they were premature, for instance, or there hadn't been an initial complaint to the Council, or they fell outside the Ombudsman's jurisdiction. But the Ombudsman did make a decision in 4 cases related to the Council, and details are provided of each case in section 6.1 of the report. You'll see that the local government ombudsman, after an investigation, upheld one complaint against the council in its services in this period, and that related to advice provided to a resident concerning drainage matters on their land. The issue, which I am aware of because I've reviewed the complaint, related to the council. The borough council isn't the local flood authority for the borough. That's the responsibility of Derbyshire County Council. But in this case, the council's officer attempted to support the resident with the concerns that they were having in relation to flooding on their land, and actually went beyond our responsibilities to try and be helpful to the resident. Unfortunately, the finding from the ombudsman was that at the point at which it was clear that there was nothing further that the borough council could do, and that it was a matter for the county council, although the resident had been informed that that was the case, that wasn't followed up in writing. And on that basis, the ombudsman found fault against the council on the part of the officer and not confirming in writing that it was a matter that should have been raised elsewhere. There was an agreed resolution where the council apologised to the resident, reviewed its procedures. The most significant review to the procedure being that we won't get involved in these cases in the future at all, which in some ways is a shame for residents, because I know the officers try to be extremely helpful in these circumstances, but having reviewed the procedure, we'll have to be very clear that it's not our responsibility to do so in the future. And there's also a small payment to the resident for their inconvenience of £100. On the basis of that resolution, the matter was concluded on an agreed local resolution with the council. And then the other three cases, all related to planning, there was no finding against the council for the reasons which are outlined in the report. At 6.4, there is a comparison with our near neighbours in terms of performance on similar matters. You'll see the percentages aren't particularly helpful because there are such a small number of complaints that are actually investigated, where you have 100% upheld rate where you've had one case that's been investigated during that period. Well, we had 3 cases investigated, one was upheld, so we have 33% of our investigations have ended up in a resolution against the council or finding against the council. So the only other point to make is that in the period over which this letter covers, the council received 118 complaints in relation to its services, all considered under the council's corporate complaints procedure. So you see it's a relatively small number of complaints that actually go through to the ombudsman for consideration. So on that, Chair, I'm happy to take any questions members may have on the report. I think you might be muted, Chair, actually, on the mic. That's it.
Sorry, I was just asking if anybody has any questions for you before we move on to a proposer and seconder to note the report. No. Okay, can I have a proposer and a seconder to note the report, please?
I'll propose, Paige.
Thank you, Councillor Quinn. And seconder?
I'll second it, mate, again.
Thank you, Councillor Gardner. And we'll now move to the item of 5, which is the Standards Annual Report. Who can you advise who's leading on this one? Is it Lyndon?
It'll be Lyndon.
Yeah, I'll pass over to Lyndon. Sorry. Okay.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you. Yeah, the report summarises the work of the committee for the year 2023-24. And the report starts off with providing an overview of the role of the committee. That includes the details of the committee membership. And you'll see that in addition to our borough councillors, we also have representation from our independent persons. You'll recall at October Council, we appointed 3 new substitute independent persons who perform the same role now at Staffordshire Moorlands District Council, our alliance partner. We do currently have 2 vacancies for parish representatives. Last time we tried to recruit, we didn't have any inquiries forthcoming, although one of our borough councillors, Councillor Lomax, who unfortunately can't be with us tonight, is of course a town councillor, so we do have that link. And we'll await perhaps some forthcoming consultation on the standards regime to see if we can look to get those posts filled in the near future. Moving on through the report, we provided an update on the councillor induction programme, which we rolled out after the 2023 all-out borough elections. That's very much designed following feedback from councillors, and we added a number of areas into last year's programme, including more detail on our housing function, overview and scrutiny, partnership working and climate change. I think overall we get some really great feedback on the quality of the courses. Most of it is delivered in-house, so we can make sure it's tailored to the needs of our own councillors, and that also helps us to be cost effective and provide value for money by providing the courses direct. And where possible, we also invite parish and town councillors along to those training sessions too. We provided all new councillors with IT equipment last time around, and rolled out new equipment to our returning councillors. And in the next few weeks, we will be running 1 or 2 workshops for councillors just to make sure that they're happy with how that equipment is working for them. Again, after the elections, the committee also granted some general dispensations to councillors. They related to matters with regards to allowances, setting the council tax, and housing matters for those councillors that might be council tenants too. And then just working through the report, we've provided some detail there on the previous annual letters from the local government ombudsman. A lot of historic data there going back to 2012-13, and you can see how the numbers have changed probably a little bit over the years, and you can see a comparison there to our alliance partner Staffordshire Moorlands District Council. But as Mark said on the previous report, it does illustrate the fact that a very small number of complaints do reach the ombudsman compared to the total number of overall complaints that we deal with as a council, and that hopefully does illustrate that our complaints process is strong and works well. And then, as you'll know, each meeting of the committee does receive an update report on alleged breaches of the Code of Conduct for members. And again, at paragraph 6.21, we've provided a breakdown for previous years, so you can see how those complaints have been broken down against borough councillors, parish and town councillors, and also how we compare against our alliance partner Staffordshire Moorlands. So that's an overview of the report, Chair, but I'll be happy to take any questions.
Just checking that there's no questions for Lyndon. Okay. Can I have a proposer and a second to note the report, please?
I'll propose again, Paige.
Okay.
Yeah, same again, Paige.
Thank you both, Councillor Quinn and Councillor Gardner. I need a proposer and a seconder to move to part 2, which is the exclusion of the press and public, to resolve that the press and public be excluded from the meeting during the consideration of the following item of business, as there may be a disclosure of exempt information as defined in Part 1, Schedule 12A of the Local Government Act 1972.
Okay, I'll propose again.
Why not?
Thank
Just
you.
for exciting.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, I'll pop the live streaming now, Chair, just in a sec.